Good morning, class. So, all week long, and even last week, we've been talking about the transfer of energy in an ecosystem, right? Well, what have we used to track that transfer of energy so far? Think about it. First, we used a food chain. And a food chain simply shows what eats what and what gets eaten by what. Then, we moved on to food webs. Remember that a food web shows how the whole ecosystem is connected, how everything gets its energy. Well, today, we're going to discuss a third model of energy flow in an ecosystem, called an energy pyramid. Now, class, as you can see, some words are in red, some words are in black. To make your Cornell note-taking a little bit easier, the words in red are the words that are to go on the left side of the paper, and the words in black are the words that are to go on the right side of the paper. Now, an energy pyramid is simply a model of energy flow in a community. Remember what a community is? Yes. Community is two or more organisms interacting with each other in the same area. So, a pyramid doesn't have to contain all elements of an ecosystem, but can be limited to just a community. Now, these pyramids usually have 4 levels. The bottom level, the very first level, are those organisms that are at the beginning of the food chain. They're the producers, like a plant, or grass, or a tree. Remember that producers are the ones that make their own food. Now, the second level, after producers, are those who eat the producers. These are the primary consumers, like bugs, fish, snails, things like that. They're herbivores, so they eat only producers. Now, after the primary consumers comes the secondary consumers. Secondary consumers are the ones that eat the herbivores. Therefore, they are carnivores. Now, lastly comes the tertiary consumers. The tertiary consumers are those who eat the carnivores. Basically, these are the organisms that are at the very top of the food chain. Not many things eat it, but it eats things that eat a lot of other things. Now, as you can notice in this energy pyramid, the farther towards the bottom of the pyramid you get, the larger is the section, right? Look at the very top section of this pyramid right here compared to the very bottom. The very top is way, way smaller, right? Well, the reason it is shaped this way is to show the amount of usable energy at each level, meaning how much is left to be transferred to other organisms. You can see that the producer section is by far the largest. That's the very bottom, because its energy can be most easily transferred to many other organisms. Think about it. It can supply energy to the herbivores, which supplies energy to the secondary consumers, which then supplies energy to the tertiary consumers. You can tell right here, went back to this slide just to show you, that the lower you are in the pyramid, the more energy there is. And the higher you are in the pyramid, the less energy there is. Have you ever noticed in most communities, for example, how many more producers, plants, trees, grass, how many more producers there are than tertiary consumers? This is exactly why. You can see this once again in this pyramid. At the very bottom, there's a large population of producers, and at the very top, there's a small population of tertiary consumers. With every single step up in the pyramid, a lot of energy is lost. This means that there is much less energy for the tertiary consumers to harness, for example, than the producers. Remember, harnessing energy, one of our 5 characteristics of life. Now, because of this, the higher you get on the food pyramid, generally, the smaller is the population of the given organism. Pretty crazy, right?